Day 28, England against Croatia. History was to be made as little Croatia, populated by 4 million inhabitants, would become the smallest nation ever to reach a World Cup final. In doing so, playing with the finest team in 2 decades, they'd surpass the feats achieved by the class of 1998. England themselves had far exceeded, beyond their pre-expectations, and had given everything. From 2006 against Iceland until now, the progression was immense. After competing 2 gruesome knockout games, fatigue was a major concern for Croatia, as recovery would certainly be tested for Dalic's men. Croatia started with the same team as against Denmark, Brozovic coming in for Kranjčar, giving license for both Rakitic and Modric to move further upfield. England went into the contest looking to end a 52-year wait for a World Cup final appearance. It had taken 28 years just to reach the semi-finals. 10,000 England fans in the stadium were very confident and hopeful that Gareth Southgate's team, unchanged for the 3rd consecutive game, would finally bring glory for the country. This England team had played without fear, without pressure, and they certainly played with a freedom as they attacked with pace and in numbers. They'd faced Croatia during the qualifying campaign for the European Championships in 2008. The Croatians victorious on both occasions, winning 2-0 in Zagreb before ending the era of Steve McLaren with a 3-2 victory at Wembley. It was pretty much reversed as England crushed Croatia 6-1 and 4-1 in the leads to the World Cup of 2010. So it was to be a dream start for the English, as this following a very clumsy challenge made by Modric on Dele Alli. Kieran Trippier from the free kick. It was dispatched perfectly and executed, pinpointed with pace and great technique, and dipped straight over Subasic in the Croatian goal with no chance. It was England's 12th goal at this tournament. It was Trippier's first for his country and his first in 2.5 years. Croatia were evidently shaken, especially in defence, as England were on the front foot and threatening constantly. They were so much full of pace. There were no signs of Croatia getting themselves back into the match, as they found themselves down for the 3rd time in consecutive games. England fearless and looking pretty comfortable, their fans in high spirits and full voices. Croatia continued to be all over the place, with there's much more space for the English to exploit, and Sterling was killing the defenders of Croatia, Vida and Lovren's, in total chaotic form. It was Kane, flattened earlier by Lovren, who was given the opportunity, who was in with the opportunity to bury Croatia. The ball somehow seemed to get stuck under his feet. The initial effort denied by the keeper. The rebound smashed off the post and onto the knee of Subasic, with the ball to spin high and over. It had actually been Kane's 2nd chance of the contest. The first he screwed wide, but a late flag would be put up to spare his blushes. Suddenly there were evident signs that Croatia were getting back into the game. They were having more of an impact from the wings, and the first shot on goal from Rebic didn't trouble like Pickford like too much, and then after 35 minutes, Lingard, with an opportunity on goal, elected to shoot on goal rather than find Sterling with the effort wide of the left-hand post. By and large, Croatia was certainly all over the place and pretty much toothless, and England should have been out of sight by now, and Rakitic would somehow look to attempt to walk the ball in after breaking through in on goal. The game moved into the second half, so Croatia, without creating anything substantial, this despite having the possession, were really lacking in options, and they were slightly being forced back by the English, who were looking pretty slick, and there were half-hearted appeals for a penalty as Sterling went down in the area. Rebic, Mandzukic went into the book for offences as Walker joined them for holding up play. It was looking likely that an aggressive Lovren's would join them, as he was committing lots of infringements around the field. He'd make a very important interception, life-saving clearance to deny Trippier's fine ball across goal, with Walker very soon to take a heavy hit for his team. But then England could resist no more, as Rebic, his outstretched leg, was able, from the whipped-in fine cross, was able to, just ahead of Walker, was able to divert the ball past Pickford for his second goal of the tournament. Like I said, it had been coming, and then it was Perisic again dragging an effort that bounced off the post, as with Rebic to hit the rebound straight into the arms of a grateful Pickford. Now Modric was certainly pulling the strings as Croatia were on top, and and Walker made the important interception to deny Croatia in on goal as the defence went to sleep. Rashford was brought on, and Lingard drove across goal as England fans found their voices once again. It was Trippier again. Trippier was almost caught up for an underhit back pass, but Stones came to aid the situation and cleared up. Then the game was certainly there for the taking. Pickford was on hand to deny Perisic as Kane on the back post was unable to find the connection that Croatia were pressing, but England was certainly looking very dangerous. There was an early flurry of change at the start of extra time. Strinic limped off with Pivard to come on in his place. Kranjčar replaced Rebic as Rose had already replaced Young at the start of the first period, and then Henderson saw himself give way to Dyer as England was suddenly starting to look like play too deep. It took time for the contest to find the rhythm as the fans eventually found their voices. It was certainly gripping stuff. Velasco on the line was there to deny England from another of their speciality set pieces. Stones with a fine leaping header in on goal. Both continued to seek the goal as the game now started to open up. There was fatigue, certainly sure to play a part, but surprisingly it didn't seem to be affecting the Croatians. And then a wonderful knee interception from Pickford. Pickford was there to deny Mandzukic as he looked to finish in on goal. But then it was the important moment came when a loss of concentration from Stones as the ball was headed back into the England defence, with Mandzukic on hand to rifle low and hard past into the far corner past for his 32nd goal. This behind the goal of all the fans of Croatia. They went ecstatic. Vardy suffering with injury problems, like came on with groin issues, then came on as Trippier limped off with with a groin strain, so it wasn't looking good at this moment. As Croatia were in the ascendancy, England certainly on the back foot, and the hero of the moment, Mandzukic, was barely able to walk and came and saw himself replaced by like Koluka. England poured ahead. Like Pickford momentarily looked like he'd spilled an effort from Brozovic, but he came to rectify the situation. 4 minutes on the board went up. England pressed, but it wasn't to be, as Croatia survived. Their resilience and composure and their greater experience had pulled them through. They'd fought in 3 extra time games and somehow managed to survive all the physical effects of it. England, lacking the experience and lacking the creativity and the killer pass, had just failed right at the just failed to take that extra step that would have seen them progress to the final to face the French. That honour would be left to Croatia, who would tackle, could they be the next winner of the World Cup, as France had won it previously. It was to be an interesting, as the world waited to see in high anticipation who would be the victors of this 2018 World Cup in Russia.